if you know your opponent's character, you can instant block certain things to try to interrupt them. For example, oops, let me do this. That's that. See, I tried to mash there. Actually, if I mash with instant block, yeah, I still get blown up. That's a bad example, but you might get an opportunity like DP or roll if you instant block. Instant blocking is good. Instant blocking, good thing. You also have counter assault. I think counter assault's better in this game than last game. Actually, I could just send this save recording. Whoa, that's guard cancel roll. Let's use AB. 6 AB in block stun. You get counter assault. They're better in this game, but you could still. They still kind of have like. It's a weird property. Like they're hitting you, so you can counter it. So Chie can like DP it. Narukami can DP it. If you're like on point, you can DP it or do a reversal. But some counter assaults are so fast that it doesn't really matter. There's some attacks that are really good to do it against. Like Akihiko's Kill Rush. Akihiko's Kill Rush, where he does multiple punches. That's a really good move to counter assault most of the time. Anything that's long, lots of multiple hits, long duration. That's like if they don't have meter to one more cancel, which is when you use 3 buttons to cancel your move, like pretty much any move. Then it's like a safe spot to counter assault. You can also one more burst and one more cancel counter assaults. One more burst. Is he set? Okay, he's set. Oops. So you can combo off that. And so if the counter assault hits, you don't really get a good combo. Counter assault is not a good starter. So you don't get a really good combo, but you get them off you and you'll get a knockdown. You also can't kill them. So that's an important thing to remember. So if someone is like on pixels and you do counter assault one more burst, you pretty much bring them down to 1 HP and you get like one more mix up. Now, if you're in a situation where I think this is me. Why is it like this? Alright, 1 second. I'm gonna try to fix this again. Okay. I was talking about counter assault one more burst. Don't let me forget. Let me turn this off real quick. Let's capture. Maybe if I change it from here, it will be better. Opponent. Video settings. Maybe if I drop it from here. Save. Okay, I think this has to actually. Alright, does it I changed settings in Rec Central. Does it look better? Let me know if it looks better. I know it'll take a little while. We can go back to, was it counter assault one more burst? Someone let me know. Let me know. So I can move on. Anything, anything, anything. Do some combos. Okay. Because it looks better in the program. Still a little choppy. Yeah, it looks better on my end too. Better than earlier. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna keep going. Also, I need to fix God 9. Okay. So yeah, counter assault. Yeah, I was saying counter assault one burst. I actually need to switch to Chia to demonstrate the difference. So I said before that you could do. Where's Chia? You can do counter assault. If you get counter assault as a starter, you don't really get a lot of damage or anything. You just kind of get them off you. You get like a simple combo and you knock them down. If you, for some reason, get warmer bursts as a starter, and this can happen. Okay, I should do it. No. So if you get that as a starter, that is really good. They might have changed it from the original version, but first of all, you can kill. Second of all, warmer burst is a really good starter. This is some advanced stuff, but the paration value is like minus 200, I believe. So you get like, it's a really good starter, even though it does no damage. And you can kill. Those are the two big things. Those are the two big things. And most of the time, most characters can't actually stop that. Like, they have to find a way to bait your counter assault and then armor your warmer burst. That's the way we found to beat it. On the subject of instant block, so this is another thing I forgot to say about instant block. Instant block also reduces pushback of the opponent. So right now, if I set not to instant block. Okay, there we go. So right now, the opponent is set not to instant block, right? Actually, I should do it from max range. So Mitsuru 5A, everyone knows about this move. This move's really big, right? This move's huge. You can do it from like here, here, here. And her new 5A AA is this. So if you space it right, this is what happens if you don't IB any of this. You stay really far, you can't, it's really oppressive. But if you instant block, look at that. There's no pushback. And then Mitsuru will be like, and you'll also have more of an advantage when you do that too. So if you know when to do instant block, it's really good. Notice the pushback is totally negated. So one more time, instant block, then no instant block. Okay. Next, roll. It's the roll. It's not like the smash roll. Characters move at different distances. Chia's is pretty long. So these I notice a lot of beginners use this a lot, especially on Wake Up. You're actually not invul on frame 1, so you don't actually get the roll invulnerability until the 3rd frame, so you can be hit by meaties and safe jumps. So if you try to roll on Wake Up, you'll actually get hit. And when you're creating a setup, the first thing you should check, one of the first things you should check at least, is can they roll? Like, when you're testing it, it should just look like they get hit. They won't get counter hit or anything, but they'll just get hit. You can grab rolls. If they roll, you get a counter throw, which is nice. And new to this game, rolls are now invul on frame 1. So a setup example would be like this. This will not work in this game, essentially. If I do something like this, old combo, but whatever. So you'd be able to roll that on the 1st frame because rolls are projectile invul. So some characters' old setups are pretty much gone, and the only way you can enforce such a setup is by also having a physical attack there to stop them from rolling. That being said, roll is a pretty good. There's some strings that you're going to try to roll out of because they might be too far away for you to like do anything else. So a really common one that I can think of off the top of my head I'll set is going to be Naoto. Where is Naoto? Where is Naoto? Cool. Well, this is a string. Actually, I should do it like this. Okay. So this string. Oh, actually, I'm doing it at the wrong range. I think I should be about here. Here? Okay, just do it from mid-screen. So at this range, like Mitsuru can attack, but a normal character will not reach Naoto from this range at all, and reversals will kind of just whiff, and she can punish, but you can just roll past it, especially if you IB. Oops, I didn't IB. I move slow. My timing's bad. Okay, I can't instant block. A normal character would also punish that too. Most of the time when people have a string like that, they can stop it. Stop you from doing it. That's definitely the wrong button. I believe it's this, right? That's Alex does? Yeah. Yeah, so you end up rolling onto the trap. But that's like the general use for it. You also have a guard cancel rule. You have a guard cancel rule where it costs 50 meter, like the counter assault, but you do a roll out of block stun. So it still has the same like disadvantages, like you could be grabbed out of it, but the nice thing about it is that you can get out of things that just like normal roll, you can get out of things that you might not be able to escape normally. So I'm gonna Mitsuru mirror for this. So I'm going to do What? No, not that. So normally you would not be able to get past that like that, but if you use guard cancel roll, you can escape. But just like everything else, you can get baited. I'm pretty sure this beats it. Oops. Charge characters. Oh wow, that's good. Just wait. And then you're just in front. There's a lot of recovery too, and you're in a counter hit state during that. So just be careful when you're using it. And unlike counter assault, because it's an attack, you can't one more cancel or one more burst or roll, obviously. So once you use that, once you make that decision, you have to stick with it. Okay, so last of the main system mechanic, default defensive options, is DP, BD. Everyone's is different. Everyone's works differently. So this is what you have to like research, like know what every character does and how your character can beat it, what they can do after, etc. Some characters like. I'm trying to think of a good example. There are some characters that Mitsuru can like bait their DP and then like IK to follow up. Like Aegis, you can do it to Aegis. I'm pretty sure you can do it to Minazuki. Oh, you can definitely. Alright, I know someone who I can definitely do it to. So yeah, DPs vary from character to character, and if you played P4U, some DPs changed, like Teddy's changed, Yosuke's changed, Mitsuru's changed. So you might want to look into that. I guess changed, so you might want to look into that. 'Cause not everything's the same. But anyway, let's set this up. Oops, that's not the right super. That's what I'm looking for, right? Yep. Okay, see here, I'm blocking. What? Oh, that's new. Oh, she needed that. That's good. That's actually good. We're gonna use another one then. Whoa. Slow SDP. There we go. Okay, I used to not have to IB her DP. Last game, you just block the DP, and then if she did it, you just did IK. So that's good. She actually needed that. So it's good to know like the individual punishes and like what they can do. You can do this to Marie too, I'm pretty sure. And other DPs have so much recovery, you might be able to IK them, etc, etc, etc. So then, we're gonna go back to Narukami. So then, essentially, the basics of the game, revolve around like all those defensive options. Most characters, like pretty much all the characters, have good offense. So the main mix-up in this game, of course, so you have highs and lows, just pressure, because you have to bait like the various defensive options, and DP is 2 buttons, so it's not like you have to just input like a 623 or a 22. They could be mashing BD and block stun or something. So, but you can individually, like if your pressure is good enough, a lot of the good characters have really safe pressure where they can kind of stay away from everything if they're paying attention. Now, throws. So when you're mixing up your offense, like a character like Mitsuru, like she doesn't actually have a super good mix-up game, and she has good pressure, but she's not really like a rush down character. She kind of just applies pressure on the opponent with the goal of either catching them for doing a mistake or for them doing the wrong defensive option, or she tries to open him up with a throw mix-up. So, all right, we're almost there. We're almost there. So throws, I should have written down the exact numbers, but they're all like 5 frames startup except for Kanji's, and Kanji is like 13, and the total tech time is something like around 20 frames or something. I'm just throwing out numbers. I'm gonna get the exact numbers again later. So I'm gonna use Narukami though for this. This is throw. So a good way, a lot of characters get good damage for making throws with, because they're counter hit recovery and there's no barrier like Blaze Blue, so you have to whiff a throw if you throw tech. So for example, right. Oh, oops, I did it too fast. Body, and that I would take damage. I would take some damage for that. Let me turn off counter hits. Ooh. And you would get hurt. So in Mitsuru's case, you'd probably see something like for B, you see a lot of jump C, jump back, jump B for your mid screen. Like she has a few ways. She has a few ways to do it. Now, all right. I want to make sure I say this properly. So, actually, I'll set up the recording. This last year, no, I guess it wasn't last year. It was 2012. Yeah, it was 2012. It was the end of 2012, and Soji and Kirisame came for NEC. So, we noticed while playing, well, I guess, no, it wasn't just me. I'm sure other people noticed, but they, in a throw tech situation, so in this same throw tech situation, oops, I don't even know how to do it. Choo. So in that throw tech situation, where we would do like a late tech or like a really late throw tech to try to like protect ourselves, they would jump up and air throw. So this actually does a lot. This does a lot. What? After a few of my throws whiffing this way, I was actually like, so this pretty much negates Mitsu's 4B. Jump C gets blocked in the air. In Mitsu's case, he blocked it in the air, or like I was too far sometimes, or I wouldn't get him at like a good angle for some reason. So I spent like a night thinking about it, like how do I beat this? How do I? Oh, well, I thought A, this is pretty good, and B, how do I beat this? How do I beat this? In the case of stuff like this, like any like little hop or like any sort of walk up air normal, so I guess in Narukami's case you do jump 2B. I can't do jump 2B either. So in any case like that, like how if I did air throw, I'll just jump. So how do I beat this? How do I beat this? So my reply. Actually, I got that backwards. You cannot do. The reason why I was confused was because you can't do rising jump C to Teddy. That's what it was. You can't do rising jump C to Teddy. So because he's too short. So this whiffs. So, and then this gets air thrown, and then standing, doing that sort of throw tech thing. That, of course, would get jump 2, and then he'd be out. So I was thinking, what do I do about this? What do I do? So the answer I ended up coming up with, of course, was doing a dash up 2B to catch him out of the air, and Mitsu's 2B was his counter hit state, so that meant that I was able to hit confirm very easily. Very easily. I didn't really understand the depth of, or maybe they weren't there yet either, but this once you use this, you negate most beginner and intermediate American players' offense, like throw game, just by using this. If they can't think of a way to beat this, then that's it. Like you're good. You're golden. When I tried doing it twice, so I did it. I waited until tournament to do it. So I did it, and it was hype, and it was great. And I did it again, and it worked again. But the next time I did it, he rolled out. He rolled away. So it created a little. I didn't totally process it during the match, but it created a little dynamic guessing game of, am I going to 2B him out of his air throw, or is he going to roll? And that roll gave me back my throw. So if you're an intermediate player, you should learn to do this. Oh, poor Narukami. Narukami actually has to walk back a little bit. Mitsuru is good. For Mitsuru, it's good to dash up. For Narukami, it's good to walk back. It depends on character, you know. So what happens when someone just does air throw? So someone uses air throw to tech throws, a late air throw. So I showed you the instant answer I came up with that night, right? Whoa, that sucks. Charge character. Body. Okay, but that's not the only thing someone could do. That's not the single only thing someone could do. Because it's air throw, when you do an air throw, you're doing jump back or jump forward, however you do it, 7 or 9 or 9-7 or whatever, CD. So a string like this will also work. Oops, I did it too fast. See? and you'll get hit like that. That's, you see, who's the first person to do that? SKD was the first person to do that to me. Another thing you can do, and this is what Kopovo does, is you use a move of a lot of block stun, and then you follow up with a move with a decent amount of startup. So Chia's 5A last game has like a ton of startup, so he would do like 5A dash 5A AOA, and because there's so much block stun, I'm actually standing on the ground doing a throw. And then Chia's AOA is airborne, so I just get hit and he gets like a fat combo. So there's multiple ways to discourage using air throw to tech throws, at like a mid level. And then of course you can roll, or so this he's looking for my air throw, right? Of course you just DP it or something. You can do something else if you know it's coming. So if you realize someone is using only air throw to tech, you can use there's multiple ways to beat it. Alright, so now I'm gonna take it one step further. And first I have to set up the recording. And first that means he needs to get hit. Let's set standing, all guard. Oops, I screwed up. I actually screwed up. I did it again. Man, I'm bad. Okay. So I'm gonna defend against this for a little while. So if you play BlazBlue, you kind of have a little idea of what I'm doing. But once we move on from this, it's gonna be all new stuff for pretty much everybody, I'm pretty sure. If you want to cheat, you can look at my inputs. So notice how I'm stopping everything. Oops, it's the first time I messed up. Okay. So, what is this exactly? So, if you play BB, you probably have been hearing about this for like the past 2 months or so, about like the fuzzy jump option select. So, it also exists in this game too, and for the same reason as well, because you can't get thrown as soon as you stand up. So you could block for a certain amount of frames, tech a throw, and then block again. So in this case, you're going to still be doing the air throw that we learned about before, but you're going to start by blocking for a certain amount of frames, then jumping and teching the throw, and then going back to block. So if you go by like the frames. So Narukami's 5A is like 5 frames, and that you could meaty. So you block for about 5 to 7-ish frames, then you input 7 and AC. Well, you can't, I don't know the exact frame where you can start. I don't know how much throw protection there is when you get up, but after blocking for those 5 to 7 frames, their throw, the opponent's throw, becomes available. So that's when you tech the throw. After hitting 7 CD, you return back to down back. So if you do it properly, oops, I didn't hit up. If you do it properly, I like doing it a little late too, personally. But I always like teching late. But this kind of lets you. So for the A line, sometimes I actually block it standing, because you're normally returning back to down back, but because I kind of roll it, like I really do 1-4-7 AC for 1, even though I say it's 1-7-1, but that's just like shorthand. So you'll probably block Raging Line standing if you do it late. That 5A2AA you should block when you do it properly, like that. You can see it in my inputs too. Just going back from, let's see. After the reset, that A is where I'm teching. I'm blocking low. You see me switch up. I wish this game had Under Night's frame count thing to help. That would be helpful. Anyway, yeah. So I'm teching, blocking low, jumping, teching the throw, and going back to down back. So this first part is when I tech. So when you tech and they're next to you, you do that. And then, so after blocking the 5A, depending on like what I see, so from there you have to use your judgment. So I think, what did he do? Did he do 5A 2AA or oh, he did 5A throw. So because he did a 5A and kind of just stood in front of me, I did it again. Is this only for the corner? No, this is just an example. You can do this anywhere at any time. Like literally, you can do this whenever you feel it's right. So the weakness though is, again, you're still jumping and it's still Persona. So in Persona, like BB, so to beat fuzzy jump in BB, you have to hit them in a 4-frame jump startup. That's the main way you beat it. You delay your string so that you hit them out of jump startup. In this game, you have the same jump startup, but then you have an additional 5 frames where you can't block in the air. So the actual same, this string will still, this same old string from before. Or actually, this would be better. Whoa. Oh my god, Mitsuru. There we go. So that same thing will still, you'll still lose to the same thing. You'll still lose to delay 2B, but then the other workarounds will still beat it. Like you can still roll, you can still DP. So, moving on from here, I'm going to go into an aside for a little bit and kind of talk about like the characters, like the top characters. So, I mean, we all know they do good damage. We all know they have good neutral. We all know they have good pressure. And we all know they have a good throw game. But one thing that at least Americans will talk about is their defense. So I would consider both of these two like in the top group of characters. So Mitsuru's DP, I think Europeans called it the box. Like, I mean, it's, even though it's like a circle move, the hitbox is just a giant box around her, right? And then Narukami's DP, like we all know, this. And then Yosuke's DP is like a counter. He's like shaking. So another reason why they're so good is actually their DP has a hand in this too. And so now I'm going on to mostly new stuff. So So we talked about fuzzy jump, right? So technically you can, and I'm using like the Japanese definition for fuzzy, you can fuzzy pretty much anything in this game. So what does that mean? What does that mean? So let's go back to that recording, right? So I just talked about Narukami, Mitsuru, Yosuke's DPs. So what you can actually do he needs to throw me. Alright. So I trust everyone saw that. I teched a throw with DP. So if he did 5A Raging Lion, I would DP it. And if he does the block string, I block. And if he does 5A throw, I tech the throw. So you can do, they call it fuzzy DP. And I mean, depending on the timing, you might get that. Depending on your timing. So this I normally do extremely late because again, it is a DP. It is a DP. So like in case like the fuzzy jump, this can be baited as well because it's a DP. So Mitsuru's is like okay, but if you take into account like say Yosuke's is really good, especially when he's cornered, because then you have no way to cross him up to bait it. Like you have to outrange it. And I want to say real quick, you can't press both. Actually, you probably can press both. I actually piano it. I think it's kind of awkward, and I'm not. And throw actually out prioritizes it, so you have to piano it. So I actually just pressed the two like back to back really quick. Wow, that was terrible looking. Oops, I actually missed the throw button. And of course this has like varying levels of effectiveness. So of course Mitsuru, you get this. Oh, not that. You get this. Right? But if you play like for example, who wouldn't have it? So Yosuke, let's say Yosuke has like a top class fuzzy DP. Someone who has a bad one is probably like Elizabeth. Elizabeth has a bad one. Because you know hers is the slow grab. So I noticed in arcades that different players of different characters, I should say, had different types of defense. So the Narukami player would use fuzzy jump, fuzzy DP, and then like roll and like block or mash. But then when I played Damosu, it was pretty much block or fuzzy jump or the counter, not DP very often. DP was like really rare, maybe like 5%. Counter like 10%, and fuzzy jump a decent amount of the time, and then block the rest. So when you go into like fuzzy DP, that's a little bit more character specific. Remember, throw takes priority over DP. If you press Alt at the same time, throw will always come out first. So you have to do throw first, DP first. Okay. So, moving on from that. So we saw now that you can tech throws the DP. So what else can you tech? What other methods can you use to tech? this actually is gonna get lit up. Okay, so you can also do it with short hop. Its practicalness is a little less than DP, but like it's just good to know that you can do it. So again, if you actually, where is it? Oops. If you hit down ACD, you actually get bursts all the time. So you have to, again, you have to plink. So actually the best use I thought of for this mini jump fuzzy short hop is for command grabs, because some of them recover kind of quickly. So like, so say if you're playing a show or something, Minazuki, and you do like a fuzzy jump, he might actually like hit you. Like, I've had that happen before. Like when you do this, you kind of want to just get out of there, but if you do a fuzzy mini jump instead, then you short hop right over it. You get a good counter hit. Oh, I should use jump A. So I think it's good against command grabs using that. Kanji, Minazuki, Narukami is a little iffy because they do his command grab from kind of far. I'm still not really used to dealing with that, but again, that's also pretty valid. So what else can you fuzzy that? Now we have 3 things. You have fuzzy jump, which is air throw. You got DP. You got this. What else? What else can you use? Well, he should knock me down here. Actually, getting knocked down is a bad example. You can do it with... actually, if I just block. Yeah, if I just block, it'll be good. Oops. It's actually a little hard to show with this recording, but you can do it with backstep too. Like a late backstep, and you return to 1. So again, this also is, again, character specific in its usefulness. I mean, in the corner, of course, it's not that good because you're in the corner, and also you can't backdash on wake up for 3 frames. So you want to keep all those things in mind if you're thinking about selecting backdash, like trying to backdash. What else? The stream died? Not for me. It's back now. Okay, just hiccup. Alright, so should I go back to mini jump? Short hop? Okay, so it's just some people. Alright, so it probably died for most people. So I'll wait a sec. I actually did not see how many viewers we had before. Alright. Refresh if you have to, blah blah blah. $110, $120. Mine says... Alright, I'm gonna refresh my chat real quick. Just refresh if you have to, refresh if you have to. Okay, I'm gonna go back to mini jump. Initially I thought fuzzy jump wasn't that good, but yeah, it's better than I thought. In arcades, like, it's straight up like like they know multiple option selects, and you just have to pick the one you think they're gonna use. If you go for something hard, you have to like call it out. And there's always it's like kind of like a rock paper scissors situation. But then if you think about some characters' defensive options, like there's some that you can just ignore because they're not as good. Or they might be outright bad, so it makes life a little bit easier. Just a fancy way of chin blocking IMO. You've never played against it then. If you play someone who's really good, who has like a really good defense and uses this stuff properly, it's hard to open them up. Like, you have to know they're doing it, and you have to know how to beat it. Alright, so should be enough time by now. I'm gonna move back to mini jump, fuzzy, short hop, or whatever you want to call it. So it's gonna lose to stuff like that. So again, I'm gonna go back. It's good against command grab. In general, I think that's like the best time to use it. I don't think it's a good. Most of the ones I'm going to be moving up into now are not good all the time. They kind of have specific uses, while fuzzy jump itself is very good all around, and BP is good like most of the time. So this you use against command grabs mostly. So Kanji, Minazuki, like those types, you can do it. You can do it and it'll give you a good punish, where if you fuzzy jump in the same situation, you'll air throw and you'll get out, but command grabs kind of recover quickly so they can hit you. Did I say backdash? So did you guys hear about backdash? I did backdash right after short hop, so if it hiccuped for everyone, you might have missed that. Input is 1 AC BC, yeah, 1 AC BC air normal. You can pretty much just react, like you see that you're in the air and then you hit the air normal. You don't have to do it otherwise. Okay, no, we didn't see backstep. So I don't really actually know a good recording for backstep, but you can buffer backdash same way, 4-4. You do 4-4-1. So this is pretty much only good mid screen. Because in the corner, for obvious reasons, it's not that good in the corner. It also relies on like how good your character's backdash is. So like Mitsu's backdash is like average, so it's fine to use. I use it a decent amount. I used it in the last P4U, actually, the original game. I used it. The other downside of it is you can't backdash on wake up for, I believe it's 3 frames. So the same 3 frames where you don't have invul from roll, you also can't backdash. So you can't do it on wake up. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about using that. Backdash in P4U is like okay. It's like decent. but using throw tech with it, you can avoid a couple of situations. Any official term for backdash plus tech? I believe it's just fuzzy backdash. Everything is just like fuzzy and then blah from the document I had. Nice. Okay, so I did jump, DP, mini jump, backdash. Technically, you can also do it with roll too, even though you're vulnerable to grabs. But again, it's kind of like the same thing, so... Oops. This one is kind of rough to do, though. So when you're doing it on wake up, you have to be pretty precise with it, because again, you can't... Roll doesn't have invul for the first 3 frames. Most of the time, if I do choose to roll, I just roll. Like I don't roll and tech a throw. Like I usually use roll because roll beats most of the options that beat these option selects, these defensive option selects. So most of the time, you don't really need to tech and roll. You can just roll. It's kind of redundant. Is backdash OS the same as SKD's mini block? No, it's not the same. It's not the same. SKD's is one for when you get up, and it accounts for the fact that you can't backdash on wake up. So what he made is an option select for if someone doesn't meet you because they want to try to get your throw, you backdash. If someone, yeah, I believe that's what it is. And then in all other cases, you either block or tech a throw or something along those lines. So it's different. So the backdash, like fuzzy backstep, I actually do it when people are like attacking me. Like they'll attack, they might set up that throw situation, I'll stand there and I'll just input it real quick if I feel like that's the right thing to do. Is that all? Oh, one more. You can do it with normals too, with varying degrees of effectiveness. Mitsuru's probably would have been really good last game. This game, probably not so much. 2B, I believe Liz is the best one. 2B and throw tech. When you press all of them at the same time, you get throw again, so of course you blink it. But again, it has the same kind of, if you jump to make a throw with, you 2B, and if you tech with a certain timing, you'll tech the throw. So essentially, once you understand all these and you know how they work with your character, the offense and defense game kind of shifts again. Every character can make use of fuzzy jump. Like, every single character can make use of it. So, you first have to see whether or not they're using it and using it properly. Because I know a lot of American players already know about just using the air throw tech, but they might not use fuzzy jump, or they might not be good at it, or they might not use it properly. From there, and this is normally how my interaction worked when I like played an arcade. So I already used 2B a lot because I think it's just a good move and it lets you do interesting stuff. So I'd catch fuzzy jump with 2B, maybe once or twice. The next options they'd present is usually roll or DP. Once they introduce roll and DP, I have to choose which one I think they're going to do and then look for that and punish. So in Mitsuru's case, what's nice is that I kind of don't always have to do that. I can just kind of stay far away, and some like basic stuff, like going back to what we were talking about earlier, where I said air throw, just raw air throw beats like standing in front of them and backstep. So in Mitsuru's case, if I stand in front of them and backstep and they do fuzzy jump, then they're in the air and I have good positioning. Like I could do 2B or something. If they DP, some DP she'll backdash through them, and then you can punish. And if they roll, you backdash, and then you're right next to their roll, and you could punish. So there are ways to like punish these if you're aware of them. I kind of suggest going back. Like you might want to, if you watch matches from like the past couple of months, you might kind of look at them differently with this information. The document is like really huge, and there's a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. So I'm not gonna translate the whole thing. I'm going to try to write the important stuff though, and post it on my website. I will take questions for a little while though, if you want. So now I'll be paying attention to the chat more from here on out. So go ahead, I'm ready. I am ready. I'll also take them on Twitter too. If for some reason you're watching but you don't have a Twitch account. Yes, now answer my question, please. What was it? A meaty AOA. What's the best way to block it? Stand up? Stand up and block it? I should say, like, just cause you know, like, you still have to use reactions and judgment, like, how far back have you used fuzzy jump, and since when was this known? So I used air throw since I saw it in 2012. I used fuzzy jump in the BB since I learned it after Evo, and I had like a ghetto fuzzy jump at Persona, but at Evo, but it wasn't good, it wasn't right, like I didn't understand it properly. And then, so since I used it in BB, when I played Persona, I was just able to do it. So I would say I knew about fuzzy jump since the middle of July. And so pretty much when I was telling everybody about fuzzy jump in BB and translating with air roll, that's when I learned about it. Air throw I knew since December 2012. What is the fuzzy jump for? So fuzzy jump is an option select. It's a template for defense essentially. So it's a way that you can block, and it's a pretty safe way to block and tech throws. I should say three things. It's a pretty safe way to block, tech throws, and stop most common ways to bait throws, like air throw, most common ways to bait throws, or stand block, depends. Kind of depends on the situation. Okay, did you play Torowa while in Japan? No, but I played the Narukami player, Daichan, but his card says like something about Torowa, and I asked him, is that you? He said, no, Torowa is the god. It's fancy chicken blocking. No. Don't confuse it with chicken blocking. What about Japan? Have they known fuzzy jump since BBCT? I think, from what I understand, fuzzy jump is a Guilty Gear. It's Guilty Gear tech, but it's slightly different in every game. So I think it kind of... I'm not sure about previous BB versions. I know definitely in CP it became like a big thing. And then earlier this year, I actually saw the Evernote for the first time in early June, but I was playing BB so hard that I didn't really pay attention to it. And I was like, oh, it's just talking about air throw. I didn't really read it. Totowa is Yosuke. I know, but people can play ults, so... I mean, I have a Teddy. Did you play any gods, Dempo, Soji, etc? All I did was play gods in arcades. There's only good players in arcades for the most part. It's good practice. Net play is like varying skill level, but I mean, people have been playing the game longer than us. At least this version, longer than us. The arcades was like only good players. I went to a tournament. I went to a 5-on-5, and like I didn't even know any combos. I was like, oh, I just want to play. But since Mitsuru didn't really like, her combos changed, and like she has some like obvious changes, but her overall playstyle is the same, so I was still able to play. Oops. Oops. How do you feel about Yona Music owning your soul until you somehow make it back to Japan? I think he lost at this point. I wanted to play again. And he never showed up. I just think it's funny. And I got hyped too, because he called me out, and people don't really call other people out like that. So I got hyped, and I was like, let's play. And then he just dodged. I'd prefer questions about what we just talked about than questions right now, though. I did my homework too. Like, I watched the archive. I looked for Igesis to play. Like, I did my homework. Like, I was like, I want it, and he just like, no. And now I'm in Jersey. Now, like, I can't play him. We can play Zero Bar if he wants. Oops. So I think, at least, basically, you should set, and I posted this already, I will post a link again on Twitter after this is done, but you should set a recording, just like with Ragnar. You set the recording with Narukami, knock them down with 3C. I usually set them to jump so it looks the same. So they jump, 3C, then option 1, dash throw, option 2, dash 5A throw, option 3, dash 5A to AA. Once you can defend against those three consistently, then you could add option 4 of dash 5A A line. So if you can defend against all 4 of those, like 90 to 95%, then you got it. So counter DPs aren't as good for the DP OS. It depends. Yeah, it depends. Yosuke's is really, really, really good. Teddy's is not that good. Teddy, you'll actually see people use Fuzzy Jump or Jump B to tech. Or just outright normal tech, because his counter is not really good for that. It's not active for very long is the main thing. Naoto's varies, but I'd say hers is like she has the same weaknesses as Yosuke, but she does have 3 follow-ups. So I kind of like just like Yosuke, I think hers is pretty good in the corner. Yosuke's is really good though. Yosuke's is like top class. Cheese is alright, I think. Cheese is okay. Kanji, I just DP their DP. Well, that's Kanji. You do what you gotta do. His DP probably beats almost everything except for like roll. Time for everyone to learn Yosuke. Again, like one of the merits of Mitsuru is that she's good against she has all the defensive options and she's good against other characters' defensive options. That's the best part about her. What's the input for Fuzzy Guard again? How often can you use it? There's no like counter or limit. Essentially, you're doing 7 AC, 7 CD, and then back to 1. There's no real limit for when you use it. In this practice recording, essentially, I set up 2 times that I could be thrown. So here you're technically doing it 2 times, but in a match, you use your own judgment when you do it. Pretty much, if you feel like you can be thrown, you do it. And you have to watch the opponent and use your judgment. Because eventually they're going to get to a range where they can't throw you. So once they kind of are far away, you don't have to do it. So again, 1, 7, throw, 1, 7 plus throw, and 1. That's how you do the jump. For all the other stuff we talked about, you do whatever it is you want, and then plank it with throw. So if you want to do DP, you do DP, plank throw. If you want to do short hop, plank throw. Again, its usefulness is obvious. So going back to that, so at this range, of course, there's no reason to do this. Like, you're not blocking, there's nowhere where they could throw you or do like any type of offense to you. But when he's here and kind of like right here and doing stuff, you pay attention to him, and then once he pushes himself out, you can go back to regular blocking. So it's really important to watch like how the opponent defends against your offense, keeping this in mind. Again, questions. Just put this here, nice and easy to see. Taking questions. So what you are saying is I should leave a gap in my pressure to see how much they know. I mean, just attack and then when you are in that sort of situation, I mean, I have my own assumption. Like, when I was playing arcades, I'd do dash 2B by default. That's what I would do first. I'll just establish that I'm gonna call this out really hard, and then once that was set, then I kind of played the let me just stand here and let me stand here and let you do you, and then I would try to punish. It kind of depends on what character you're playing, how you deal with it. Do you think a low-level player should learn this? It's like I said, once we got to this, that's kind of the fuzzy jump. That's where the advanced part starts. Definitely learn like the basics, like just DP, attacking throws, roll, and how all that stuff works. And then once you get used to that, try just to use the air throw, the one I talked about in the middle, where you just jump when you're in this situation and you just jump. So you're gonna get hit by some of these options in the recording, but you will stop other low/mid-level players' offense by using that. And if you kind of understand the idea behind the air throw, you should try to practice and learn the fuzzy jump. It's pretty useful. Don't you have to delay it at 7 then? Wouldn't 5A2A hit you if you have to go up too fast? If you go up too fast. That's timing. There's so much block stun that, and I mean, I showed this multiple times too. There's so much block stun that, excuse me. There is so much block stun that you can switch to up, you should switch to 7 and go back to 1 and not get hit. I didn't even hit throw. Oops. That's a tricky one. There you go. I think 5A2AA is the one that trips everyone the most when they learn it. And oops. That does happen sometimes if you do it multiple times. Without like the right timing. That's what you should get. And you can clearly see my input of going to up, like going to 4, 7, 4 again too. Like I'm not even doing 1, 7, 1. I'm getting 2, 4 inputs in there. I still block it all. So it's obvious why that would be air throw alone, because you're holding up, you're holding 7 the whole time. But if you time it right, you're only doing 7 for like, you're doing 7 for a really, really small amount of time. So if you time it properly, you shouldn't get hit by 2AA. So when Narukami does his bullshit safe jump off C slide or sweep into fake line, does this tech work? Yes, you could still do it. I know I use 3C, but I think like what is it? Like he does. I don't know how he ends the combo really, but they do that into that. So if you want to practice it that way, like you can set it up. Oops, I don't know. Right. I forget. I kind of don't they do like I don't actually play him, so I don't know. Something like that, right? Or you can just do it off C slide. Actually making it more tricky. So if I only use those two and nothing else, you can still defend against it. Whoa, I didn't hold back? The input is different, but because he's doing a safe jump, so you can't hold 1 because you're going to get hit by jump B. But you can still hold back, go to 7, and then switch back. Same idea. Isn't 236A 214? How did you delete your other replay? You just if you don't record anything, it just deletes it automatically. So like the basic template, of course, is what I've been saying, like 1, 7, and throw, and then 1. But in the case of like a safe jump or something, if you decide to use fuzzy jump, you're going to be holding 4 before, because you need to block. A couple more questions. When is the